Extremely difficult to see those images of her incarcerated. We now welcome in special correspondent, friend of the show, Angela Rye. Angela has been covering this story from the very beginning and is in contact with Griner's family. Thank you so much for being with us this morning, but I want to get right to it and give this story as much time as we can. What's your reaction to today's ruling?
Well, sadly, it's not surprising. We were well understood that Russia's criminal justice system is vastly different from the United States justice system. And so it was always going to be an uphill battle for Brittney to win an appeal. At best, her defense attorneys hoped that they would reduce the sentence. And unfortunately, the reduction was that they would give her time served for the pretrial detention, which means that her sentence will now be around the 8-year mark.
Well, first of all, a couple of things. Number one, let's ignore them damn idiots who say such a thing about her, talking about she violated the laws. I don't want to hear that crap from them. But I will ask this question. Russia and the punishment they handed down for this quote-unquote crime, is it consistent with what they normally do to people that find themselves in this position with their government? Can you answer that question?
Absolutely. It is inconsistent. It is harsher for Brittney. And Stephen A., there's no surprises here either. Let's remember that Brittney was detained on February 17th, which was exactly 1 week before the Ukrainian invasion. We knew from the very beginning, even when the administration wasn't ready to say, that Brittney was a political prisoner being held and wrongfully detained because of the timing of this arrest. So it's very clear that this has more to do with Russia's frustration with the United States and its support of Ukraine than it does with Brittney's actual crime.
And she should have stopped right there. She should have stopped right there. But she couldn't help herself. These woke, liberal ideologues, these people who their whole rank in society, their whole status in society is owed to their constant playing of the race card, their constant invoking of racism and looking under every rock to find racism. It's clear Brittney Griner played for one of the best teams in Russia, who's owned by a Russian tycoon. Like the Russian Jeff Bezos owns the team that Brittney Griner plays for. You think he hasn't been trying to get her free? This is all about politics. This is all about politics, and it's all about a different criminal justice system. She's not in the United States justice system. She's in the Russian justice system. Do I think if she was Brittney Griner, the Target cashier, yeah, she'd be doing 9 years. But do I think that the owner of her team in Russia would have been able to get her out by now if there was no war? Of course I do. Or he would have gotten her sentence reduced more than just time served. He would have got her sentence reduced a lot more. But this woman right here, and I try to like this woman. You know, I try to like her, man. But she has to bring race into it.
That's the thing.
So with that being said, it's a safe bet in your estimation. I'm surmising here. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's a safe bet that if there wasn't a war going on with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, that this likely would not be happening. Is that the belief that everybody has?
Well, here's the other thing, Stephen A. I don't know how much you know about Vladimir Putin, but let's just say that this is someone who doesn't play fair. If at any time right? So we also have to take into consideration what Brittney was wearing at the airport that day. It was a Black Lives Matter hoodie. Let's also take into consideration this is someone who is engaged in activism around protecting the interests of Black lives and reproductive justice.
So Vladimir Putin, if you're watching this, any Vladimir Putin representatives, any liaisons, if you're watching this on American TV, a representative from Brittney Griner's family is saying that you guys arrested her partly because she had on a Black Lives Matter hoodie and she does activism all over the world to protect Black lives. I just don't think, I get it. She can't help it. That's what she does. She can't help it. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Branding Vladimir Putin a racist in a case where the woman actually had the drugs and actually came through the airport and actually got a similar sentence to what a Russian citizen would get. A woman who plays for a Russian tycoon's team in Russia, who makes 10 times her WNBA salary, in Russia, branding the leader of that country a racist, intimating that it had something to do with the Black Lives Matter hoodie, and you're a representative of the family on American TV, one of the biggest shows that we have in America, and you're saying this, and this is supposed to help. If I'm Vladimir Putin and I catch wind of this, I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, so I'm a racist. Okay. All right. I'll show you a racist.
So we also have to take into consideration what Brittney was wearing at the airport that day. It was a Black Lives Matter hoodie. Let's also take into consideration this is someone who is engaged in activism around protecting the interests of Black lives and reproductive justice. Let's also take into consideration that this is an LGBTQIA woman who, then that's frowned upon in Russia. It is frowned upon and punished in Russia. So there are a number of layers to this that also could demonstrate why Vladimir Putin wouldn't play fair with her. There was another young woman who was 18 years old who had 10 times the amount of marijuana that Brittney did several years ago, and she was detained for 4 months and sent back to the United States.
Anybody got any idea why she brought up that 18-year-old woman who got caught with some marijuana in Russia and only did 4 months? No, it's not because that was a 1 in a million case that woman just happened to slip through the cracks. And we can't find another case like that where a U.S. national went to Russia and got caught with some weed and got off. We can't find another case like that. Just that one. No, it's not that. It's not the rarity of that case. It's because that woman is a glider queen. She's white. And she's trying to make it some racial thing. With the person who Brittney Griner is packaged with in these deals to bring Brittney home is Paul Whelan, an ex-Marine who got caught with a teeny little bit of medicinal weed. He's been over there languishing in jail for years. So Angela's trying to make it seem like, well, this white girl got off Oh, she only got 4 months. Show me a pattern of that. They have yet to been able to find anything other than that one girl. And they never told us the stipulation. They don't tell us it was thrown out or they found out it wasn't her. They don't tell us anything. They just tell us this glider queen, this glacier glider queen got caught with some I think it was like an ounce or something like that of weed in Russia, and she got 4 months. And I'm telling you, man, this is the wrong tack to take. This is the wrong tack to take. Because other countries do not have guilt. There's no guilt over there. What does Russia have to be guilty for towards Sun people? What do they have to be guilty for towards Sun people? Nothing. So trying to guilt them, trying to play the race card, it's only going to make them dig their feet into the sand. It's only going to make them entrench in their position. It's only going to offend them.